Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story, battling entitled parents at the trampoline park. The second story, DNR drama, battling an unwelcome guest at the night window. The third story, the IT revolt, toppling tyrants in the tech world. The first story is entitled mom and dad refused to pay and are horrible people. EM, entitled mom. ED, entitled dad. M, manager. Me, well, me. So just a bit of information. I work at a well-known trampoline park in the UK. We have a large area of trampolines, a section for climbing walls and a soft play area for the little ones. My job role is a party host, so parents can book for an hour-and-a-half party. They pay a certain amount for a certain amount of children to attend and get a party room for food and cake afterwards. I basically help ease the stress from the parents, so I spend the hour with the kids either jumping, climbing, or playing in the soft play. Then I take them for food whilst the parents sit in the cafe. They also have the option to join us in the party room. So around the start of the year, I was put in for a party shift like normal. Got everything ready in the room and got ready to meet the party and introduce myself. Originally on the booking, it had said there were going to be 10 children for a 6-year-old's party, one of the easy ones. The party are supposed to arrive 30 minutes before they're due to start jumping so they can be given wristbands, colored bibs, jumping socks, and a safety talk so they get the full hour. The party parents turned up 10 minutes before they were supposed to start. I had gathered 10 bibs, 10 wristbands, and 10 pairs of socks. There were about 9 kids already there, so I got them ready, checking their waivers so we have contact details and medical details in case of injury. I approached the mother of the birthday child and asked if it was okay to leave the last wristband with her and for her to wait at reception for the last party member to turn up, so the children that were already here would get their full hour and I wouldn't be late. She looked at me like I had just shot her child in the head. EM, what do you mean wait for one more? There's about 20 kids that we're waiting for. Me, 20? I'm sorry, we only have 10 down to jump on your booking. Unless it's booked under another name, maybe? EM, no, you idiot. I paid a lot of money. I paid deposit for 10 and paid the rest for the other 20. Me, okay, if you only paid deposit on 10, then you would have only paid for 10 to jump. It doesn't take deposit, then take payment for a load more. It's likely you've only just paid for 10. There were only 10 waivers linked up to the booking, so there's the proof she only paid for 10. EM, let me speak to your manager. She stormed up to the reception desk whilst I went into the office to get my manager. She came and explained the exact same thing. The woman would not accept that she had only paid for 10 kids. Even our booking system tells us how much payment was taken and it was the right amount for only 10 people. Another thing you should know, as soon as the party number reaches higher than 20, you have to have 2 party hosts for safety, because of the ratios. So if one of the kids went down and I had to do first aid, there would be another person to keep watch of the others. However, I was the only party host in and available that day. They had also only ordered enough food for 10, so there wouldn't have been enough food. After a lot of swearing from the mom, my manager told me to wristband all 30 kids with a different color wristband and just get them jumping while she dealt with the parents. Obviously, it was hectic trying to watch 30 kids by myself, as well as making sure they all knew where the drinks were. Luckily, my manager and another member of staff sorted the room out and the food order out, so I didn't have to worry about that. Eventually, the hour finished and it was time for the food. I got all the kids into the room and sat down where they started eating. Normally, I pour drinks. Now here's what sort of peeved me off a bit. There were about 15 parents all stood around the room watching me struggle pouring juice for the kids. I accidentally ended up spilling a little bit of orange on a kid. I immediately apologized and grabbed some tissues so he could wipe it up. I heard a voice from one of the parents. "Don't spill it again, you silly little girl." Bearing in mind I'm 19 and not a child, they can see me struggling and accidents happen. I pretended I didn't hear it and just carried on. Shortly after that, the birthday child's dad came into the room and saw what his son was eating. ED, is this chicken? My son's a vegetarian. How dare you give this to him? Did you force him to eat this? He got right up in my face, which was kind of funny, as I was the same height as him. Now each party room has CCTV in it, so my manager could definitely see it. Me, I didn't make him eat it, no. I told everyone it was chicken nuggets. There's cheese pizza, chips, garlic, bread, and crisps. I never once told him he had to eat anything. I shrugged. The kids then decided to try and threw leftover nuggets in the jugs of squash. Me, guys, can you stop throwing food in the jugs? I won't fill them up again if you keep doing it. The kids laughed at me and kept doing it. ED, don't you dare shout at the kids. We paid for this room so they can do whatever they want. Where's your manager? You're clearly incapable of doing anything right. You're useless. Not even prepared for a party at all. You should be ashamed. I almost lost it. I took a deep breath. Me, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'll go get my manager. I closed the door to the room that was open and walked to the office. As soon as I opened that office door, I burst into tears and my manager came running over. M, what's happened? What's going on? Me, I can't do it. They're throwing food, the dad shouted at me for no reason, saying I'm useless and incapable of doing anything. I can't do it anymore. She sat me down at her desk and another manager sat with me while her in the park is what we call the trampoline area. Manager, a big guy with muscles, went and sorted them out. Basically, they had all finished the food whilst I was gone. My manager didn't even let them sing happy birthday or cut the cake. She straight up gave the kids all their shoes back, took the bibs off them and asked them to leave. Luckily, all the kids' parents were pretty much there anyway, so they all eventually left whilst my manager and the park manager cleaned the room. I felt so bad leaving them to clean, but I was so annoyed, peeved off and low-key hyperventilating that I just didn't want to risk having another breakdown or a panic attack. Shortly after, I sat there with my manager and the managers of the company watching back the CCTV footage and basically answering questions and discussing about what happened. Me, I'm so sorry if I did something wrong. I tried to keep my cool and not let it affect me, but I just couldn't handle it. So I came and got my manager's name. Right from the second they got in the door, they were horrible. I was told that I did the right thing by getting my manager involved and that I wasn't in any trouble. How they couldn't imagine getting rid of me because I'm the most reliable and available member of staff they have. Not to toot my own horn, so at least I didn't lose my job. But that day I so nearly walked out and never came back. My manager took me out for dinner after the shift and it cheered me up a lot. Oh, and the parents refused to pay any more money than what they did, so they basically had 20 kids jump free. But they're no longer allowed in the building because they were all so rude to the cafe staff. So I guess I won that one. This story is absolutely stunning. What insolent and rude parents. It is unbelievable how they could behave so inappropriately at a children's party. Trying to cheat and not pay for extra kids is just unacceptable. They were obviously completely unhappy with the original situation and decided to make an absolute mess of it. Your response and professionalism in this difficult situation are impressive. You were able to remain calm and get your manager involved when things got out of hand. Your ability to work with the children and organize the party was clearly underestimated by these parents, and their frustration and aggression was completely unwarranted. Hopefully, you will not have any more such unpleasant encounters with such aggressive parents in the future. You deserve respect and support for your ability to work under such circumstances. Nice bonus is that these parents are banned. That's what they deserve. The second story is, yeah, I can see why you're on the do not rent list. Guy walks up to the night window and puts his phone to the glass, showing his reservation. Doesn't say a word. I asked him for his ID and CC. He starts to pass his ID and a Cash App card through the drawer. I told him we don't take Cash App and asked if he had a bank card or credit card. He said he did, then went back to his car before coming back. Guy, y'all take cash, right? Bran, yes, you're paying cash, we just hold a deposit on your credit or debit card in case of damages. Guy, but it's okay if there's no money on the card, right? Bran, no, there has to be money on the card in case of damages. We put a hold on it to verify the funds are available to us. Guy, alright, well what if I go to Walmart and get a card? Bran, I'm sorry, we don't take any prepaid cards. He groaned and went back to his car. 5 minutes later, he came back with his Cash App card and pressed it to the window. Guy, hey, why won't you take this? It's got my name on it. Bran, we've had too many issues with Cash App cards. And the people who use them. Guy, but it's got my name on it. It's connected to my bank account. Because of the way he was holding the card, I got a glimpse of his name and made a mental note of it. Bran, I'm sorry, we've had too many issues with them, so the owner has told us not to take them. He started to wander back to his car, and I jumped on the computer to check the DNR list. Hey, guess who's there already? I noticed him ambling back to the window and turned the mic back on. Bran, sir, your name is Guy Namison? Guy, yeah? Bran, I'm sorry, but you're actually on the hotel's do not rent list, so I'm not going to be able to rent you a room. Then he got this glassy look on his face, gave a weird laugh, and just stared at me. It was creepy as F, TBH. Guy, why can't you rent to me? Bran, you're on the do not rent list. Guy, why? Bran, it doesn't say, it's just a list of names and dates. Guy, I didn't do nothing. Bran, I'm sorry. Guy, why would I be on the list? Bran, I don't know, sorry. Guy, what's it say? Bran, Guy Namison? Guy, how does someone get on the list? Bran, there's a lot of ways. Smoking in a non-smoking room, damaging the room, being rude to staff, causing disruptions to other guests, illegal activity. arguing with staff. Hint, hint. Guy, I didn't do none of that. Bran, sorry, but I won't be able to rent to you. Have a good night. I turned off the mic and started to walk away to help this fine, upstanding citizen understand that the conversation was over. But he wanted to keep arguing and started pounding on the window, so I walked back and turned the mic back on. Bran, sir, I'm not going to rent you a room. It's time to move along to another hotel. Guy, but I didn't do nothing. Bran, management decided that we won't be renting to you any further. We don't have anything further to discuss. Have a good night. Please move along. Then he started yelling at me. But I turned the mic off and he was slurring half his words, so I honestly couldn't tell you what he was yelling. But I think he was threatening me. I flashed him a thumbs up and a customer service smile and walked away. He went back to pounding on the window and then held down the doorbell button, so I walked back and turned the mic back on. Bran, sir, you have no more business here. You need to leave or I'll have to call the police to help you leave. I'm not renting you a room, and you're not welcome at this hotel. That worked and he finally left. Why is he on the DNR, you might be wondering? Rude to housekeeping. I know, I'm shocked too. Oh, what a great turn of events. This guy Nameson, really deserves a spot on the do not give up the numbers list. What an inconsiderate and aggressive customer. First, he tried to pay with a Cash App card, despite clear instructions to have money on the card to lock up funds in case of damage. Then he came back with the same card and claimed it was linked to his bank account, but that didn't help him get a number. And now we find out that he was already on this list because of his rude behavior to the maids. And how satisfying to see how he tried to argue and continued to be insolent even after being told he couldn't stay here. That moment when he started banging on the window and ringing the bell was just exceptional. He couldn't seem to say goodbye to the idea that he wouldn't be accepted at the hotel. The third story is, I got my previous boss fired. I worked in IT at a very large food service company. The director was an absolute piece of SH. Within 6 months of him being hired, 80% of the department left. The first person to leave went to a new company to the area that was hiring dozens of new IT people. 6 more of us left and went there. Others went to different companies and several others followed them there. We all did exit interviews and all of us told HR it was because of how poorly the director treated us. Within a year he was fired, as was my direct manager. For a large city, there's a surprisingly small number of IT professionals. I get a call from a guy I worked with at another company. They were looking to hire a new director and he worked for the company I had left. It was the piece of SH IT director. I told him everything the guy had done, but they hired him anyway. He made it 14 days before they realized everything I had told them was true and they fired him. His name came up a few more times over the years, and luckily, they listened to me and didn't hire him. Since most of the IT people in this city know each other, or knows someone who knows someone, we were basically able to blacklist bad IT people. My direct IT manager found this out. He eventually gave up looking for a job in IT and went into real estate with his wife. Oh, how sweet it is to see bad bosses get what they deserve. This IT boss obviously didn't realize how important it is to respect and appreciate his employees. How sweet to see that when he moved to another company, his own past negative impact on his employees came back to him in the form of a layoff after only 14 days. This is a lesson for all bosses. Respect your employees and they will work for you, not against you. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.